Hello and welcome to DFS Coach Talk. Today is Wednesday, September the 7th, 2022. I am Joe Sarvati, affectionately known as Coach, and I am joined by the one and only Mr. Josh Crash Davis. Crash, how are you on this fine Wednesday afternoon?
I'm doing well. Better than I think my Brewers are probably doing after last night. That was probably the toughest loss I've seen by them in I don't know how long. I don't know if you saw what happened or not, but they had a 6-1 lead in the eighth inning, and then they brought in Luis Perdomo, and he allowed 4 runs, so that made it 6-5. And then they brought in Strzelecki, which he did okay. He got the 2 outs because Perdomo didn't get any outs, so he got the 2 outs. But then he gave up a home run to Grichuk. So they tied the game in the eighth inning after the Brewers had a 6-1 lead, and then they ended up winning in extra innings. So it was a rough loss.
Yeah, not a good one, but you know what? They're back at it today, so you never know. They can bounce right back. Certainly looks like they're going to have the ability to score some runs today again in course. So we'll see how that rolls. But yeah, it was not a good day yesterday for me. My lineups just did not get it done. Super disappointing. The hot streak ended, but you know, that's DFS. We always preach the most important 2 things, like by a million times, are bankroll management and contest selection. If you stick with that plan, you're going to be able to ride out nights like last night where it just didn't go well after 3 or 4 hot nights in a row, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it was a tough night in general. I mean, the cash line was like almost 200. I had Max Muncy in my lineup and barely cashed, so it was crazy.
Yeah, we'll get there. Deb and I did our best yesterday, but you know, sometimes you just take a hiccup and then you move on. But I will say this, you know, today it's really confusing because first of all, there's 17 games, so there's their first weird thing. Then there's split, so it's like 6 games in the afternoon is a key slate. Then there's a bunch of games in the middle, like 4 games that aren't on anything. And then you've got a 7:05 6-game slate as the main slate. So I have no idea. It is confusing as hell as far as that goes. But for the purposes of this podcast, we are going to focus on the 6 games that are that afternoon slate that starts at 3:05, I guess. And then the 6-game main slate that starts at 7:05. So we're going to go through those 12 games in depth. We'll talk about all of our normal stuff: pay up, fades, value plays, BVPs, HR calls, stacks, and we'll do it for both of those slates. So hopefully you can come out of this podcast. Everybody is prepared then to play really 2 main slates, if you will, the afternoon one and the evening one. Does that make sense, Crash?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Hopefully to everybody out there, it does as well. And I know a lot of people are providing just for the early, or then they're going to come back on and do just the late. Let's stick with us today. We'll go over these 12 games in depth, and you should be prepared for both slates full barrel. I'll say this, in all my preparation earlier, I absolutely love the 3:05 early slate, and I'm not too crazy about the 7:05 main slate. What about you?
Yeah, I'm right there with you. My main issue with the main slate is the pitching. I think that every pitcher has a bad matchup, and the bats. I mean, it's a pretty tough slate, I think, or you know, on paper it looks that way.
Yep. And you know, the one thing about this afternoon that's wonky, but I think we can use it to our favor here, is just DraftKings just with a massively screwed up pricing on Strider. How can Strider only be 8,900 in that matchup? It makes no sense to me.
It makes no sense to me either, Coach. I don't get it.
I mean, he should be like 11.3 or even more than that, and just everything's off. You know what? This is what I think happens at this time of the year for the DFS providers like DraftKings, Fanduel, and Yahoo, I think they get so overwhelmed with the NFL starting and all of that pricing and all of that action, because let's face it, the NFL gets way more action DFS wise than any other sport.
Right.
And I think what happens is with baseball specifically, it just gets lost in the shuffle and you see a lot of mispricing, a lot of issues like that take place.
Definitely.
But
definitely, I mean, 16 strikeouts his last start. So how do they,
Well, we had him as our key play that day, and he dropped an 80 burger on the board. So he goes against a crappy team like this, and they drop his price. I mean, come on, man. What?
Yeah.
You got to be kidding me. But you know what? Let's use that to our favor. Let's take advantage of those miscues on the pricing and everything else that's taking place on these sites. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's crazy because you also have Sandoval on this slate. And, so the pitching is just really good on this early slate.
It is. Castillo's in there too.
Yeah, Castillo's in there. So it's just it's interesting for sure. And
then, of course, we have a Coors game, which is going to dominate that early slate ownership. And how all of that's going to fall out. So let's just dive into this, start breaking it down. A couple of things real quickly as we're getting started. We're going to give away 2 tickets to the $5 million NFL DFS DraftKings contest. They're only $5 tickets, but it's, free. It's free. You get to a free roll at $5 million in pool for that DFS contest. So if you jump in chat during this podcast, just say hello or what's up, because I'm going to do the randomizer for everybody that's commented in chat. So I can't double check to make sure during the podcast that you're in chat and you get a fair spin at those 2 free plays. So real quick, Crash, let's say hello to Rodney. Rodney Pollard wins for being the first one in the podcast today. What's up, man? Our man, David Dulac. And remember, David is selecting our giveaway for any super chats. If you want to super chat during the podcast, you can do that. All of that money goes into a pool at the end of the month of September, and that goes to charity, and David will be choosing that charity. Boy from Cali's in there. What's up, man? RJ, good afternoon. King of all trades. JT, good to see you. Dominic's back in the house. Fear Money Entertainment LLC. Tony A is back. Great to have you back to back, Tony. So glad you're up and running with your being down for like 6 days. So we needed you back in here. Travis Wyndham, what's going on? Niles Simmons, great to see you in here as well. And everybody else that's joining. So we're going to dive into this, Crash. We've got that giveaway during the day. If you're watching right now on YouTube, as we're getting started, get it out of the way. Give us the quick thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. The little alert in the upper corner, that'll let you know when any of our podcasts post. And that's very important right now because with all of the MLB podcasts going up every day, NFL podcasts now coming in on every Thursday and Saturday, and we're going to pop some live Sunday ones in there from time to time as well. You're going to want to know when these podcasts are posting, so hit that little alert button. If you're watching on Twitter, we'd really appreciate it if you give us a quick like and retweet so some other people can take advantage and take a look. And we are presented by Boom Fantasy, our awesome presenting sponsor. Boom Fantasy is definitely the place to go for all of your plays. You can play prop plays, head-to-heads, all kinds of different things on all the stats. They've got just about everything you can imagine. So jump on Boom Fantasy. We have the link right here in the description and in the bio on YouTube. We also have it on Twitter. And if you're on TikTok, we're on there, and that is in there as well. If you're on Twitter too, we're really trying to grow that group. Definitely like us and subscribe to us there as well. We'd really appreciate it. What's going on, DePrince? That's all right. Better than late than never. Glad that you're in here with us. for sure. All right, Crash, are we ready to go on this bizarre sort of 6-game double main slate, whatever you want to call it, type of scenario here?
Yeah, I just wanted to give our viewers a heads up real quick. You mentioned NFL. So tomorrow, 90 minutes before kickoff, we will be live. And then on Saturday night, we will be live at 8 p.m. Eastern. So
exactly. And the great news is, I mean, we're giving away 2 tickets to that Millie Maker on Sunday today. We're giving 5 tickets out tomorrow during that podcast and 5 again on Saturday night for the Sunday main slate. So, hey, if you want to get in and get in the randomizer, who knows? Maybe somebody wins multiple tickets to that, has a couple of different bullets at the big money. Let's see what else for that. Let's see. Anybody else? Anything in here? Yeah, David King of Smack. Baltimore bats with Valdez besides me. No, I'll tell you what. That's a great call, King of Smack. Very good, man. All right, here we go, man. Let's go right after it. The very first game on the slate, 3:05 Minnesota. Oh, Crash. No, I don't think we're gonna have any weather issues today. Do you?
Oh, yeah, I don't think so. Yeah,
I think we're clear. Yeah, I think we're clear. I wanted to mention that because that's always a stickler lately, but I don't think we're going to have any cancellations.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think so.
All right, 3:05, Twins at the Yankees in New York. 10-mile-an-hour wind blowing in, 72 comfortable degrees, 7.5's the total, 3.46 for the Twinks, and for the Yanks, 4.04. The youngster, highly regarded youngster, Louis Varland, pitching for the Twins, has a really good strikeout percentage in the minors, but that's the minors. He went from Double-A, had a stint in Triple, and just, really had more than a strikeout per inning. So he comes with a little backing there. I'm not as high on him as I was Brown from the Astros the other day, but he's not a bad pitcher for a youngster. Don't know how stretched out he'll be. He's been going, 5+ innings in the minors. So I guess if he's going okay against the Yankees, he could continue in there for a bit. But, little tough debut when you have to face the Yanks.
Yeah.
He's going against Domingo Germán, 7.3K. Both of these lineups are out already. And no major, I guess we have one major surprise, or a couple. The Yankees, listen to this Yankees lineup, Crash. So it's Cabrera leading off. Then you have Judge, Gleyber Torres, Ronald Guzman batting cleanup.
Yeah, where did that come from?
He's like minimum 2K.
Yeah.
Miguel Andujar batting 5th. IKF up to 6th. Estevan Florial 7th. Higioshka, who I can never pronounce, 8th. And Oswaldo Peraza 9th. What is this, spring training?
It does look like a spring training lineup with the exception of Judge and Torres. That's a crazy lineup.
So, I mean, what do we do with this game? Do you go to the rookie Varland because of this wacky lineup?
No.
Or do you go with the cheap Yankees bats?
Yeah, I mean, we've already mentioned who we like on our pitching, so there's no way I'm going to go to Varland. But the Guzman play at cleanup, that's kind of popping out to me. I kind of like that, especially at min price. I think that's going to be a good value play today. So I'm probably going to go there. Yeah,
I mean, it's hard not to. I mean, I can see I'm probably going to go to a little mini Yankee stack now that it's so cheap. I mean, I wouldn't mind going Cabrera, Judge, Torres, Guzman, Andujar. How about 5 Yankees?
Yeah, I mean, you could go with Yankees and whatever side of Coors you like. I guess the Rockies probably and the Angels, and some of the Braves. I mean, you can get all those guys for that cheap. So
I mean, it changes the entire slate. First of all, let's just say this right off the bat. The Coors game is going to get a massive amount of ownership on both sides. Colorado's getting as much or more attention as the Brewers today. So that game's going to dominate. Obviously, with the numbers there, you're going to have some exposure. It's a 12 over under in that game, which we're going to get to next.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to bring it up now because maybe the differentiation is now that the Yankees lineup is so cheap, maybe that's where you go for a little bit of contrarian piece to, getting away from some of that stack for Milwaukee and Colorado.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm not too high on the Brewers today, and I really don't have that many Rockies in my lineup right now either. So I may have to go with some contrarian Yankees if that's going to look like the lowest owned route to go. So
I like the Yanks. I think that Varland, again, just a tough spot as a rookie for your first outing in New York against that lineup, even though it's not their net regular lineup. So I definitely like the Yanks on this side. I do like Nick Gordon in the cleanup spot against Herman at 3K flat as a one-off for the Twins.
Yeah, I definitely see that.
All right, game 2 on that early slate, if you want to call it the afternoon slate, and it is your Brewers. They're at Colorado, 92 degrees in Denver, slight breeze blowing, big, huge numbers here. 12's the total, 6.43 implied for the Brewers, 5.57 for the Rockies. So both teams, tons of ownership, no sense in even reading the ownership numbers. We know this game dominates. And it's Eric Lauer, the lefty, 7.9K against Kyle Freeland, fellow lefty, 6.4K. So what's the strategy here, Crash? How many players from this game are going to be needed for you in your build?
This is probably going to be, to be contrarian, I think I'm going to probably go with some one-offs here. I like I like Blackmon on the Rockies. He has really good BVP against Eric Lauer.
He does.
And Mike Montero, he's good against lefties. He hit a home run last night, and he actually hit a home run off of Woodruff. He was the one of only 2 hits that they got. But then I like, of course, Hunter Renfroe. He's the best, BVP against Freeland on this roster. And I have a sneaky feeling about Luis Urias, but I'm really not sure how many Brewers and Rockies I'm going to get in my lineup. I'm, kind of thinking as we're talking here that I'm going to go away from this game. Lauer hasn't been that bad. He's got a 3.54 ERA, but a 1.22 WHIP. And he's been pretty good in his last couple starts. Against Arizona, he only allowed 2 runs. One of those, I believe, was an unearned run. So, I mean, he's been pretty solid of late. Freeland had like almost a no-hitter against us last time. So, I don't know. But they did mention last night that he has like an over 8 ERA at home, which is great.
Right. Yeah.
But, so that would be a concern. Obviously, if he gets blown up, then this is going to be a tough slate because they're probably going to be pretty highly owned, the Brewers. But this kind of feels to me like this is going to be one of those, how did this game end up so low scoring at quarters type games? Maybe like a 43 is kind of what I'm predicting on this.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to be that high scoring, but, we'll see. I mean, there were 17 runs scored yesterday, so I would expect some regression.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I agree and disagree. I'm not like stacking 5-3 here, or just all my lineups going to be Rockies and Brewers. But I definitely am going to have, it sounds like, more exposure than you are. I specifically like the Colorado side, I hate to say, but we know that Colorado has been number 1 in Major League Baseball against left-handed pitching, and especially when they're in Coors Field. And so tough matchup here for Lauer. And Charlie Blackmon's numbers, first of all, he's a reverse splits guy. He hits lefties great.
Yeah.
Listen to these numbers against Lauer, though, for Charlie Blackmon. 12 for 22, 5 extra base hits. 2 of those are home runs. He's walked a couple of times. A 1538 OPS, 955 slugging, 583 OBP, and just a cool 545 softball type average. So he's going to be in every lineup I have for sure. There's no question about it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have exposure to both sides, though. I'm going to probably have 1 or 2 Brewers, 2 or 3 Rockies. I'm not going to go crazy with it. I know some people are just going to stack it right up. And I would understand that. I got to get a drink. I would understand that, but I don't think it's going to be low scoring. I just don't think it's going to dominate the slate where you have to have all the players from this team in order to have a winning lineup.
And I don't remember what Blackman is on DraftKings. I know he's 3,200 on Fanduel, so that's not bad at all.
48.
Yeah, it's still not bad
for
DraftKings pricing. But I definitely want to have Judge and Trout. I mean, they've been red hot lately. And so I don't know how many of the Brewers and Rockies I'm going to get in my lineup, so.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm leaning on the Brewers side. McCutchen, I just keep thinking is going to have a breakout game. Adames, same thing. I've been taking him so much. Those guys jump out to me. Your buddy Keston here does have a tendency to hit lefties. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
Those guys jump out. And then, I'm looking at the middle of that order, Josh. I think, Daza at 2-4. In the 2-hole. Blackman, like I said, is a lock. My decision is going to be on Crone and Rogers. Do I want to spend the 5-2 and 4-7 for those guys? That's where I've got to make some decisions. I really like Elias Diaz, the catcher down in the 7-hole. He's my home run call today, Crash. Can you believe that?
Yeah, I can. I played him last night, and of course he let us down, but I do like him in this matchup. I think that's, he's been really good against the Brewers the last couple of times he's faced them. And so I do think that, he's going to be a good lower owned play, especially on DraftKings where you have to play a catcher.
Right.
And, at the top, Grichuk and Daza. And Grichuk hit 2 home runs last night. Daza hit a home run. So I would probably lean away from them and more towards the Blackman, Rogers, and Diaz plays. And Montero, I like him too. So.
I'm so furious about Grichuk because I've been playing him a lot lately, and I had him in my lineup with 5 minutes left before posting. So I don't know, somebody else did the same thing. One of our members mentioned it in chat, and I did the same stinking thing. So I'm definitely not chasing those 2 home runs from yesterday. But anyway, we spent a long time on that game because it is the most important game. It's the most owned. These 2 teams most owned, and it makes sense. So I think you can still have, decent coverage to this game and not totally be contrarian with the stacks like everybody else. Or I mean chalky like everybody else.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to game 3. It's the Atlanta Braves and Oakland Athletics. It's an exactly 3:37 start. 7.5's the total. It's extra hot in California. Oakland, 87 degrees there again. Breeze blowing out to right center, 6 miles an hour. 7.5 is the total. 4.83 for the Braves. Only 2.67 for Oakland. And it's Spencer Strider at a ridiculously underpriced 8.9K against Ken Waldichuk, the lefty, at 5.5K. And I'm not going to waste time because we have a lot of games to go on. Play Strider in every lineup, in every contest, in everything you're doing. There's no reason not to. He's way underpriced. He's probably going to be the highest scoring pitcher on the slate. And even if he doesn't have the greatest game, as a chalk blocker, because everybody else is going to have him, it sort of screws up this early slate, but he's going to be just absolutely undeniable the best play on the slate.
Yeah, he's my second favorite pitcher on this slate.
Wow.
And Atlanta is actually my favorite stack as of now. So I'm trying to decide if I'm going to go with Atlanta or New York for my GPP stack, because this Atlanta lineup can crush some lefties with, Olsen can hit lefties. He hit a home run last night, I believe, against a lefty. And then, Ozuna, Grossman, Grissom, Riley, Acuna. They've got some guys that can hit lefties. So I like the Atlanta stack here. I think they'll be lower owned than they were last night, but I'm kind of wanting to go back to them.
Very nice. They're so damn expensive, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the problem. So I'll try to get to a Brave or two. No, certainly no interest in the Oakland side.
Yeah, my favorite would be Grossman because a lot of people played him. They played the revenge narrative. They got burned by him. And I like going back to guys like that. I mean, I did it last night with Max Muncy because we were both on him the night before. And then he hit two home runs. Don't think that's going to happen with Grossman, but, if he has a nice game, he'll be low owned. So I like Grossman here.
Yeah. Definite narrative there too. Absolute Power, thanks for joining in today. Great to see you in here. All right, let's keep moving on this early afternoon / duo main slate fiasco here of them not putting these games together correctly, but that's another story. 4:10, we have the Chicago White Sox at the Seattle Mariners. Expecting the Dome to be open there. Only a 7 total there. 2.90 implied for the White Sox, 4.10 for the Mariners. Michael Kopech, 7.1K against Luis Castillo, 9.8K. And those lineups have posted as well. Not as many shockers in there like we had with the Yankees.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much the main cogs for both of these teams in there.
Yeah, this game I'm not really looking at. So, this game is pretty much a pass for me.
Okay. I like Luis Castillo. I know that you're going to be high on the third guy, I'm sure, Pablo Sandoval. And, it really comes down to me as Strider and Sandoval or Strider and Castillo.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the only combinations I'm playing today. I just think those are the 3 pitchers that extremely stick out to me on this early schedule. Are you in agreement with that, or are you on Kershaw today?
No, I'm not on Kershaw. It's not him. Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, Sandoval was my guy.
That's what I thought.
Right. That I had that just absolutely crushed it last time against Detroit. So
yeah, he did for sure. Did I skip that game?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll go right back to it. It's 3 minutes earlier than the Chicago-Seattle game.
3 minutes.
So we'll talk about that game here also. But for me, very simple. I like Luis Castillo as my second pitcher in half of my lineups. Not interested in any of the White Sox bats. And I really don't like the Seattle bats because if you play Rodriguez, France, Haniger, Suarez, they're just extremely expensive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so Kopech's not bad. He's not He's not good, but he's not the worst pitcher on the slate.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'll flip back to this game because I just sort of blew everybody's mind. Detroit and the Angels at 407. That's where we get your favorite pitcher and my 2-2A 2B guy with Castillo, and that's Patrick Sandoval. Mm-hmm. It's 98 degrees in LA though, Crash. That's a little scary.
That's a little bit concerned there with the weather. But, he had the complete game shutout, 9 strikeouts, 64 fantasy points last time he faced Detroit. And, I think that he's a little bit cheaper than Strider. He'll be less owned, definitely. And I just think it's a very favorable matchup for him, as long as the Heat doesn't take the ball out of the park. But I like the Angels too. This is crazy for a slate with this few games, how many bats and pitchers there are on it.
It's a great slate.
Yeah, it really is. It's really it's a great slate, but it's also tough to land on something because you just want to play everyone and you can't. So
there's a lot of spots you can go. I mean, I like Sandoval and Castillo about even, but Sandoval's $1,200 cheaper. Mm-hmm. And like you said, he totally dominated the Tigers last time. I'm just a little nervous about the Heat there.
Yeah.
Detroit's lineup's terrible, though. Mm-hmm. I mean, let's face it. They're not good at all. It's 8.5 total, by the way, with that hot temperature. 3.44 implied for Detroit and 5.06 for the Angels. If we didn't mention, it's Drew Hutchinson, 5.1K for Detroit. I don't think you have any interest there. I do not.
No.
Neither one of us like any of the Detroit bats. So you're going to Trout now. I've had Trout for all these homers, and I'm actually not going to play him today. And It's not because he's not like unbelievable. I just trying to time any regression here. I think maybe instead of, getting 40 fantasy points, he just cuts down a little bit on that.
20.
Yeah, it's just a money thing. I'm trying to
Mhm.
get Yankees in. I'm trying to get Coors in. Something's got to give, right?
Yeah. I mean, if I can get a low on Judge and Trout and make it work, then I'm going to try and do it. That's kind of my philosophy today. With Sandoval, I feel like I can do it. So we'll have to see how it all plays out. But I feel like there's enough value that I can pull that off. So
There's so many different ways you can go on this early slate. Even though most people are going to stack that Coors game, it's just there's a lot of additional things you can look to do. But really, after that, I'm probably not going to have a ton of bats in this game. Rengifo keeps hitting.
yeah, he
And he's
does.
still in that cleanup spot. Taylor Ward 3.5 is a little tempting too, because I certainly don't really respect Hutchison.
I mean, Shohei's in play too, obviously, but you can't play everybody. So
6.3K.
yeah, it's very expensive.
All right, we have two more games on this early slate, and it's we talked about Chicago, Seattle. I jumped ahead like a dope. So we got the second 4-10 game. This completes the 6-game slate. San Francisco at LA, a cool 100 degrees in LA today. So bizarre, the weather in California this week. 6 degrees out to center, total of 8, 3.03 implied for the Giants, 4.97 for the Dodgers. Alex Cobb, 7.7K against Clayton Kershaw, 10.2K. So I want you to explain to me, Crash, how is Clayton Kershaw 10.2K and Spencer Strider is 8.9?
There's no explanation for that. I mean, that 16 strikeout game, last start, and I mean Kershaw has been okay, I think, but I don't get it. I mean, yeah, he hadn't even been that great. Like his last couple starts, 30, 21, 16, 19. Before that, he was doing really well, but his last few starts have been pretty concerning if you look at the numbers.
Well, and I don't think he's like massively stretched out. I think they're going to, they have like a 1,000,000 game lead. Why would you, have the guy pitch extra innings when you can just, scoot him out of there and a little bit of a control? Now, I haven't read anything that there's any pitch count or anything like that, but I still don't expect him to go, 100 pitches or anything like that personally.
Right. No, I actually like JD Davis on the opposite side, batting third. He's got some good numbers against Kershaw, so I like him.
Only 2.9K too. He's cheap.
Another one of my value plays that kind of makes everything work. So he's like 2,200 on FanDuel. So
wow.
Yeah.
I'd love to get some of these Dodgers bats too. I mean,
would be my favorite. But
of course. I mean, but 6.4 is a little much. My goal is to get Coors exposure and sprinkle in some Yankees and some Dodgers, but man, it gets tight. That's for sure.
Yeah.
You can go up and down this lineup though and feel pretty comfortable. I mean, Cobb's not the worst, but he's not going great right now. And really like some of these lefties, the Freemans and Muncie's and guys. I'm not Gallo though. I think Gallo's a pinch hit risk too.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, that is it for the first slate.
The early slate
today. Yep. Oh, we got the sex bot thing in here, Crash.
Oh, geez.
We need to smack that out of there. Speaking of King of Smack, WWE, these sex bots right out of here. All right. Let's check. Chats looks pretty good. We're doing all right. How about we give away one of our free NFL Millie Maker tickets?
This is cracking me up. Want to find out our AI will help. Oh my God.
Good Lord.
Okay, so anyway, that just got me distracted, but that's pretty
That's
funny.
all right. They keep popping in here, so let's get these suckers out of here. All right, if everybody's ready, we're gonna as my buddy Gundacker would say, I always refer to him at this point of the giveaway, spin the wheel and make a deal. For everybody that is in chat, we are going to spin it, see who gets the first Millie Maker ticket. And before I announce it, remember, this is what you need to do, or you don't get your free ticket. You got to go to Twitter, and we're at DFS Coach Talk. Can't get any simpler than that. And just put in there, my name is Jim Smith. My PayPal email is jimsmith@gmail.com. Bang, you're done. That's all you got to do. And boom, you'll get it right in your account so you can jump in this right away. All right, here it goes. The wheel is spinning. The winner, oh my goodness, Crash. You're not going to believe it.
It is
boy from Cali.
Yeah, I knew it.
How did you guess that?
I just had a feeling. I don't know how I just did.
He wins, man. Oh man, he's probably going to have. He's going to win that $5 million. Boy from Cali, congratulations! You've won a ticket to the big NFL Millie Maker. So I got to block this user and get these guys. There's a few sneaking in here. They're not going away, Crash.
Oh, geez. I've tried blocking several of these. And
I don't know why it's not going away. I'll try that one.
There we go.
All right. But anyway, congratulations, boy from Cali. We expect nothing less than a first place finish with that ticket. So shoot us that information and we'll go from there. All right. We get into the second half of this wonderful slate, these wonderful slates today. We're going to skip the games that aren't on any of the slates. So goodbye, Mets, Pirates, Twins, Yankees, Red Sox, Rays, and Marlins, Phillies. What a shame.
That, Coach? What Charlie said?
What did he say?
He said he wants to give it to my man David, if that's cool.
Sure. We'll give it to David Dulac, and then David can take down the Millie Maker, and then he can pop a bunch of that right into his charity that he's going after. So, yeah. David, if you can shoot us that information, thank you, boy from Cali. That is very kind of you. And David, shoot us that information on Twitter. And if follow us on Twitter. We're at DFS Coach Talk. On TikTok, we're at DFS Coach Talk and at Coach Talk. You can find us at either one. If you want to join, go to dfscoachtalk.com. You can also sign up for our presenting sponsor, Boom Fantasy, on any of our social media sites. We have a link there that you need to click on, go through that, download, and then you're ready to go. All right, 7:05, first game on this main slate, 6-gamer this evening's Toronto Blue Jays, Baltimore Orioles. It is a little rain possible here. This is the one game that we could have a shower. I don't think it's going to cause any major problems, but it's something we'll keep an eye on. 71 degrees in Baltimore, breeze blowing in from center at 6 miles an hour, 7.5 is the total. 4 for Toronto, 3.5 for Baltimore. Alek Manoah, 10.5K against the combo, the starter, Tyler Wells, and then Dean Kramer, the placement pitcher for Baltimore, who was my main guy last time and pitched pretty darn good. He's 8.4K.
Yeah, I thought I saw.
Did they change that?
I thought I saw something about Kramer. Let me see what it says.
Because that's what I have. If anybody in chat has any other additional information.
Okay, yeah. Dean Kramer expected to follow Tyler Wells on Wednesday, Wells serving more as an opener. Okay.
Yep. That's what I expect. And you'll probably get a good chunk of innings from Kramer. I think he's playable, but not a target for me like he was the last time.
Yeah, see, I kind of had him as a little bit of a value play, and I was a little disappointed because I thought he wasn't going to start. And, Wells, which I guess he's not going to start, but he's going to be the primary reliever. So it's kind of like a start anyway. But I mean, Toronto's been tough. They've been really tough on Baltimore in this series.
The Shet's going ballistic.
4 home runs, So that's been crazy. But I respect Baltimore too. So this kind of this game's almost a wash for me. These teams kind of cancel each other out. I don't know. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I respect Manoah and Kramer, so I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to load up or stack up either side, but I love both sides hitting. I mean, I'll tell you, Baltimore, every time I play their guys, they seem to come through. I mean,
Yeah.
Mullins, Rutschman, Santander, Mountcastle, Urias, Henderson, all those guys. You can go to that top six and feel pretty good about it. And I will say Alek Manoah's been looking pretty decent. So, I doubt I'll have multiple Orioles, more of like a one-off scenario.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with you. It's a hard game. And I do like some of the Toronto bats a little bit too, but nothing, to go crazy about. Kramer's been keeping teams pretty much in check. But, there's not a lot of lefties in the Blue Jays lineup right now.
Right.
And, that is a little bit of an advantage for Kramer. But, I think you can go to any of those guys in the middle of that lineup. But, Crash, here are the pricing for Springer, Guerrero, Bichette, Kirk, Hernandez, and Chapman. 5'7", 6'1", 5'5", 5'4", 5'1", 5. So nobody, south of 5K makes it almost impossible to stack,
Yeah, I do like Guerrero though. He's 4 for 8 with 3 home runs against Kramer, so
Yeah.
he's the BVP play on this slate for me.
Yeah. And I mean, Bichette's been every bit as hot as, the guys like Trout and Judge. So
Mm-hmm.
you certainly could consider him as well. And he's $600 cheaper than Guerrero. But for me, that game, like I said, I'm not comfortable with it because I like sort of all the hitters and the pitchers.
Yeah.
So it's just a bit of one-offs for me. That's it.
Right. Yeah, I totally get that, Coach. I do.
All right, at 7:40, we've got the Reds and Cubs, 72 degrees, perfect game in Chicago to watch, no wind, 8 is the total, 3.69 implied for the Reds, 4.31 for the Cubs. The lefty Mike Minor at 6.8K against Javier Assad, 6.1K. What's the temperature on this game for you?
I do like the Cubs. I mean, Mike Minor's been bad, so I think that they're probably a stackable team in a GPP. I think they could get Minor in trouble. Yeah, they're definitely cheap too. So if you wanted to get some of the Cardinals bats or the Astros bats or whatever, more higher priced guys, I think that's definitely a team you could stack them with.
Yeah, not bad. I mean, for me, there's a few one-offs I like on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just be sort of cherry picking a few guys out. Friedel at 2.2K if he leads off would be a really nice price.
Yeah.
Fraley at the cleanup spot at 2.8. We've been talking about Friedel, Farmer, and Fraley, the law firm, and they're cheap and they're hard not to consider. And I think they're all in play. And then, like you said, Minor's not been good, and they're going to load up with 9 righties. I think the Cubs will have against Minor. So if you look up and down that lineup, Madrigal, Suzuki, Reyes, Happ, and Horner specifically are the guys that I would say you could grab a few guys from. So to get some cheap hitters here is not a bad idea.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I do agree with that.
All right, 7:45 Crash. We have the Nationals and Cardinals, 78 degrees, slight breeze blowing in from left at 5 miles an hour. 7.5's the total, 2.57 implied for the Nationals. Pretty good, 4.93 for the Cards. Corey Abbott, 5.6K against Jordan Montgomery, the lefty, 9.2K for the Cardinals. Is Montgomery your du jour pitcher today?
I like Montgomery. My only thing is Washington they don't strike out, and they've been playing really well in this series. I mean, they shut out the Cardinals in the first game, and then they got out to the 1-0 lead, and it took the Cardinals a while to even score. So this series has been pretty weird. And I keep waiting for the Cardinals to have that breakout game, and maybe it happens here. I don't know, but it just seems like, a shutout and 4 runs. I mean, 4 runs is about the floor for this team. So,
yeah. Well, it's hilarious that you say that, because in my preparation, my exact words were going to be, I'm not kidding you, this is the game I think the Cardinals break out. Honest to goodness.
yeah, I get it. I mean, it makes sense.
I think they punch him in the teeth here. I think this just reeks to me of like a 10-1 game.
Mm-hmm.
I love Montgomery. He's my pay up pitcher. I love the Cardinals stack, and it's expensive, but Nootbaar and Donovan are cheap. Of course, I'm not going to stack both Goldschmidt and Arenado. You generally can't. You sort of have to choose between the two.
Right.
But then you can get, Corey Dickerson, even though he can be pinch hit for, O'Neill, Gorman, all those guys. I think so many home run potential there. It's not even funny. I think Abbott's awful. I think the bullpen's awful. And I think, the Cardinals have been pushed around the last few games. I think they get serious today. And I hate to say it with your Brewers, but I think the Cardinals are in business today. So Lanny, if you're watching, man, do your Cardinals dance for us.
Yeah, I mean, the Cardinals, they're pretty much running away with this division, so I'm not as concerned about them anymore. I'm looking at the wild card as a Brewers fan. But going back to the Cardinals, it's interesting. It's a very small sample size, but do you know how many hits they have in 7 at-bats combined against Abbott?
2.
0.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so they're due, I think.
Yeah.
The way I would look at that, because those are too good of hitters to keep them down, so.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, I think that's just a fluke. So I think they come after him today. Yeah. Anything else on that game?
I mean, the stack, Tyler O'Neill's been hot. I could play, I think Nootbaar, and then of course Goldschmidt, Arenado, whichever one of those you want to use, and O'Neill, and I kind of like Dickerson. He's been pretty good too lately. So lefty, righty. That's where I'm looking at. Probably 4, maybe not 5, but 4 Cardinals here for me.
Very nice. All right, I guess we have to pick up our game a few notches, Crash, because Deb's in the chat.
Uh-oh.
So now we have to get serious. Let me adjust my mic.
Who does she like today? Did she say?
I don't know. We'll see. Go ahead, Deb. Let us know. Who are you zooming in on today?
Surely the Cardinals. I mean, they seem like the top.
King of Smack, I'm going KC, Houston, St. Louis Bats. Yeah. Darvish and Montgomery. Very interesting. Very interesting. I love the opinions. Throw them in there. It's a good time to talk it up. What about Fanduel?
My favorite pitcher on Fanduel?
Yeah. Mine's Montgomery.
I don't know. Honestly. I mean, to me, it's almost like you can just throw these guys in a blender and pick one, because they're all, like Javier is probably my favorite, but he hasn't had like huge numbers against Texas. He's been okay. Darvish has been good against Arizona, but Arizona's been pretty much red hot. They shouldn't have lost last night. They're going to be pretty furious, I think. So,
yeah.
And Washington doesn't strike out. So that's the thing about this slate, is there's really no one in a great matchup. Manoah and Kramer, as we talked about, those guys kind of cancel each other out. So yeah. I'm kind of at a loss for the pitching on this slate, honestly.
Well, I'll tell you what, the evening slate to me, like we said at the beginning of the show, I think is much tougher than the early slate. I mean, there's definitely tougher decisions to be made. Wish those games were split up a little bit better, make it easier for us for sure.
Yeah.
All right, 3 games left. We've got an 8-10 game in the Dome in Houston. Rangers, Astros. 2.83 implied for Texas on an 8 total. That gives Houston a 5.17, which is the biggest implied total on the evening slate for those Astros against Cole Reagans, Christian Javier at 10.2 for the Astros. Reagans, by the way, the lefty, is 5.8. What are you looking at here?
I'd like to get to Houston, but they're pretty expensive, so it's tough. Altuve, Bregman, those are probably my two favorite. Also, Jeremy Pena, we like him against lefties.
Yeah.
And Mancini's been pretty good since he joined Houston as well. So there's probably 3 or 4 guys here that I could get to, just depending on how everything shakes out.
Yeah. Anything on the Rangers side, or are you liking Javier?
Lowe and Seager would be my 2 favorite on the Texas side.
Okay. No Javier exposure?
Like I said, maybe, but his numbers have been like in the 30s, which, I mean, for his price, that's not really what you want,
Yeah. 10.2 is a big number, and that's such
Yeah.
a homer park, in my opinion.
Right.
And that definitely scares me a bit.
Yeah, his highest score, I think, this year, using Fanduel scoring, his highest score was like 37. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's not even 3. I guess it's like just over 3x. So,
yeah. No, I'm with you. I mean, I'm not on the Javier bandwagon. He'll get a decent amount of ownership against the Rangers. A couple of one-offs for the Astros. I do like Pena since he's moved into the 2-hole at that price, and then just trying to find another guy in the mix there that's affordable. It's difficult on the Astros side, though.
Yeah, I agree. It is.
Even though I'm not going to have Javier, I doubt I'm going to have much exposure to the Rangers. Maybe a one-off at best.
Yeah.
This game's interesting, Crash. The 8:15 game, it's the Guardians and Royals, 83 degrees in KC, no wind to speak of. 8's the implied total, 4.29 for the Guardians, 3.71 for the Royals. Cody Morris, 5.3K for Cleveland. And Zach Greinke, your buddy, 6.4K for the Kansas City Royals. And I know Deb likes Zach Greinke when he's pitching at home.
Yeah, I mean, that's Cleveland, they don't strike out, so that's something I would be wary of a little bit with Greinke. I mean, do you like Greinke in this matchup, Coach?
I don't have quite the courage to push that button. I don't think it's the worst play at 6.4. It does allow you a bunch of hitters, but I respect the Guardians offensively, and they're a team that doesn't strike out a bunch, and I don't know how far Greinke can go. So I'm not going to have any exposure, but if you're going to play a sort of a punt SP2 and go with some big sticks, I think you could do worse than Greinke, but not going to go with the youngster Morris either on the other side. I prefer hitting in this game.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I think probably Josh Naylor would be my favorite for the Guardians here. And on the other side, probably Perez. Yeah, I think Perez would be my favorite.
Perez homered last night against Bieber.
Yeah, against Bieber. Yep.
Yeah. I've been saying I like the top of that Royals order, Melendez, Witt, Perez, Prado, Taylor. I really like those guys, and even Massey a little bit. So having a mixture of one or two of those guys and plug in a couple of Guardians. If I could fit Ramirez, again, I think he's in a great spot here. I love when he bats lefty. 6.3 is a lot, though, and that makes it tough there. So, a couple hitters in this game, no pitching for me.
Yep.
All right, we finished the slate out with the Arizona Diamondbacks at the San Diego Padres. It's an 8:40 game, so you're going to get some extra beauty sleep tonight, Crash. And I think you have football tomorrow, but no baseball, correct?
Yeah, I do have a fantasy draft tonight at 8:30. So
that's perfect then. Good timing.
Yeah.
Which pick do you have?
I honestly don't even know, and that's terrible because I'm the commissioner of the league.
Very good, man. Very good.
I know my wife has the last pick because she won the league last year. So
gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Very nice. Well, good luck in that one for sure. Let us know how it turns out. Put up something in Discord.
Yeah, I've done 2 drafts so far, and I feel pretty good about the first one. The second one was a little iffy because I had the last pick, and it's a 12-team league, so it was a little bit tougher. So
yeah, that always is challenging.
Mm-hmm.
All right, this last bowl game, it's 84 degrees in San Diego. Is that hot spell continues in California. A little bit of breeze blowing out, 6 mile an hour to right. And 8 is the total, 3.21 for the D-backs, 4.79 for the pods. Tommy Henry, the lefty, 7.9K. Not too crazy about Henry. Yu Darvish, 10K flat. He's going to be pretty popular. Are you on the Yu bandwagon?
It's, I think it's tricky because he's had good success against Arizona this year. I was looking at his numbers, but this is not the same team that Arizona was earlier this year. So I'm a little concerned for him. I don't think he's going to get smashed, but, I think they do have some bats, some of these young bats like the Carroll and the Thomas and McCarthy, those guys, they've been hitting well. Of course, you still have Varsho and Marte. So yeah, I think Arizona can give him a little bit of trouble. And if they're going to be high owned, I think there's definitely some one-off plays there that I like. Ketel Marte is really good BVP wise against Darvish. So he's 10 for 24, 2 home runs, 7 singles and a double, 417 average. So
not bad. Not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I have a lineup with you in it along, not you as in
Right.
Crash Davis. You know what I'm saying? But I do have a Darvish Montgomery lineup where I go cheaper on the sticks. And then I do have a lineup where I'm not using Darvish. And in that lineup, I do like a couple of the D-backs bats. I agree with you. Whatever is, flipped a switch there. They've played respectable baseball the second half. And, I think they can give a scrap here to the Padres. I do like some of the Padres, especially the righties.
Yeah.
Like Machado, Bell, Profar, Cronin, not Cronenworth, but Kim at the top of the order. I think,
Kim. Yeah.
I think those guys are all playable.
Yeah, I agree. Machado, I'm kind of torn. I want to go with Machado, but I also like, who was the other play? Guerrero. Which one's going to be my home run call? I think I'm going to go with Guerrero, but I wouldn't be surprised if Machado hits one out too.
Yeah, Machado's my home run call on the late slate. I like him to go deep today. 6K is a big chunk, though. It's a chunk of change, so you got to be committed there. But I sort of like Bell tonight as well at 4.8. I wouldn't mind, just having that 3-4 duo in the late game. I think that you could get some punch from those two guys. Although Bell hasn't been great since he's gone to the Padres.
He did hit one out last night, though.
So, I know. He's a bit streaky, so that could be a good thing for him.
Yeah, he had the BVP against Kelly, and I didn't play him, but it was definitely there. I looked at it, so
yeah, it was. All right, that is the main slates. We didn't do a lot on the ownership side today because with the 2 split slates and all those games in the middle, it's absolutely so confusing. So what we're going to do is we'll post ownership in Discord. We'll put up the pitchers ownership, the stacks ownership for the early slate. And then later this afternoon, we'll put the ownership up for the evening slate. So this way you can really decipher what's going on in there. All right, let's give out the second $5 ticket to the $5 million. Let's spin it and see. Everybody's in there. Nobody knew yet. Nope. All right, the winner of the second ticket, just shoot us a message at DFS Coach Talk on Twitter. It's Ronald Pollard. I think Rodney Pollard has won before, hasn't he? Isn't he a dual winner here?
I think so.
I think he's won something in the past. Congratulations, Rodney. You have won a ticket. So send us that info at DFS Coach Talk, and we will shoot the PayPal over. You can jump in that Millie Maker. And wouldn't it be phenomenal if we had somebody win it from a ticket we're giving out? That would be awesome.
Be incredible. Yeah.
Fear Money Entertainment ate 2 egg yolks like Rocky Balboa and ran up a bunch of stairs. Oh, my Lord. What are you doing, man? Congratulations, David says, and boy from Cali. All right, we got everybody in here today, so I'll be looking for those 2 from Rodney and David on where to send those tickets. Remember, tomorrow we've got a live MLB podcast. I'll be on there solo. And then we've got the debut of our NFL podcast with Stephen Miller. You're going to love him, and Crash.
Mm-hmm.
Those two are going to do all the breakdown. I'm just going to be, the ugly face in the middle, just sort of trying to keep peace between these two guys. They'll be like the guys on, what's the ESPN show where they want to kill each other? Sharp and Undisputed. Is that what it's called?
That's on FS1.
No. What's the show I'm thinking of where that little?
Well, it used to be with Skip and Stephen A. And,
right now it's Skip and Shannon Sharp, right?
Yeah. No, Sharp is on.
I've got it all confused.
One with Skip Bayless. Yeah, it is confusing now.
Well, whatever. You guys are gonna be like some of those people. What's that?
Is that the show that they're all on?
Oh
now?
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Yeah. You got it.
Yeah.
No, he never win. Oh, let's get it done, man. Sweet. Yeah. Fantastic. So catch us for 2 pods tomorrow. The baseball one. Don't leave me hanging all alone at 1:30 in the afternoon for that one. And then we will have the NFL one at 6:50 p.m. Eastern for that one.
So am I not doing the one at 1:30 then?
Yeah, I'm doing the one at 1:30.
No, am I not? Is what I'm saying.
Oh, I thought you were off tomorrow.
Oh, I don't even know.
I believe you're off tomorrow.
Yeah, I guess because I'm doing Sunday. We're doing a special podcast on Sunday.
So I'm solo with the MLB one, and then the 3 of us are on for the NFL one tomorrow night.
Okay, yeah.
All right, we're at exactly 1 hour and 1 minute, so we're right on target. If Coach Mom was watching today, she may be taking a nap. She says keep it to an hour, so we did it there, Coach Mom. We got it done for you in time. All right, that is it. I don't see any other final questions.
No prize picks or Boom Fantasy?
Oh, I forgot about it. You're absolutely right. We're going to give our top 2 Boom and our top 2 prize picks. I apologize. Now we're over schedule. Now I'm in trouble. All right. You want to do your prize picks first?
We can knock this out quick. Yeah,
go ahead.
Vlad Guerrero over 1.5 total bases and Goldschmidt, Arenado, O'Neill over 0.5 home runs.
Okay. That sounds pretty good. I like I got to call it up on the screen here because I don't want to screw up with both of them. I keep getting them confused. This is a weird one. I went Christian Javier under 6.5 strikeouts. I know that doesn't sound like it makes sense, but I don't think he has the best outing here. I don't think the Rangers are going to strike out a bunch in this game. So under 6.5 for Christian Javier on strikes. And then I decided to go total bases on the hitting. Charlie Blackmon over 1.5 total bases.
Okay.
I love that play.
Yeah, I actually like that too, unfortunately.
Now I got to call up Boom Fantasy to see. I'm going to just click on that. So take your time giving your 2 Boom Fantasy because I forgot and I didn't pull it up on my phone. Go ahead.
So my first play, I don't know. I need to see if this is game specific or just what the deal is here because so it's the 205 game. So it is the one against Luis Varland. Aaron Judge over 1.5 total bases. That's my first play.
Okay.
And then my second play for Boom Fantasy is going to be Charlie Blackmon, more hits than Christian Yelich. So
I like it.
Yelich is 0 for 6 against Freeland, and we mentioned how Blackmon has really given Lauer the business. So
he has. All right, here's a weird one I'm going to take for Boom Fantasy, our presenting sponsor. I'm going under 0.5 hit, Gary Sanchez. I think he gets 0 hits in that game.
All right.
And then I am going to take over RBIs, Willie Adames, 0.5. I thought he'd get it yesterday, so I'm going back to the same doggone play. Willie Adames over 0.5 of RBI on Boom Fantasy.
Half an RBI or half a hit?
It's a half an RBI.
Half an RBI. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. I think he knocks himself in with a ding dong.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think he hits a home run today. I kind of like
the information we need, Rodney, and anybody that ever wins on here, it's super simple. All you have to do is go to Twitter, look up at DFS Coach Talk, and then just DM us and say, I won the free ticket to the Millie Maker. My name is Rodney Pollard, and my email address attached to my PayPal account is whatever that is. And then bang, it's sent right to you and it's over with. So that's good for everybody to remember going forward, because I'm hoping everybody wins at some point. Thanks again, boy from Cali. David's going to take down that Millie Maker with that ticket. I just know it.
Yeah.
Any final words, Crash?
No, a lot of baseball to watch over the next few hours, that's for sure. And the Brewers start here in about 30 minutes, so we're
going to be posting lineups in Discord now for the early slate within the next 5 minutes, and then follow along from there, and we're going to crush it. I absolutely love this early slate, so let's get after it. So
let's do it.
Thank you, everybody, for joining in. Get ready tomorrow to buckle in, because we've got the baseball pod and the NFL pod. So really appreciate all of our core group in here every day. We'll certainly be back again tomorrow when we look to crush it in MLB and NFL, in DFS, DraftKings, Fanduel, Yahoo, and of course, Boom Fantasy.